Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Behind the Life. On today's show, I'm joined by Nathan The Hitman Heaney. Nathan is a current holder of the IBO Continental Super Middleweight belt after defeating Christian Schembri in March. Nathan holds a professional record of 10 wins from 10 bouts and is ranked within the top 15 middleweight boxers in Britain, the same division as the likes of Chris Eubank Jr., Liam Smith and Liam Williams. He went viral recently, over 2 million hits, with his entrance to his fight against Schembri, with Delilah belting out around the King's Hall in Stoke-on-Trent, showing Nathan's love and passion for Stoke City Football Club. This week, he announced his signing to Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions, rounding off a phenomenal 12 months. Everybody, this is Behind the Life of Nathan The Hitman Heaney. Nathan, hello, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you, Adam, mate. Yeah, really good, really good.
Good, mate. Thanks so much for coming on the show during the surreal times. How, we were just talking before, how are you finding it during lockdown?
Well, yeah, like I said to you before, I was lucky that my fight was 4 days before the lockdown. So for me, the lockdown's been a bloody godsend. I've really enjoyed the time off, like the downtime, and because I do a lot of, I see a lot of people in the build-up to a fight. I'm around everywhere. I'm working full-time at the college and doing stuff outside, dropping tickets off and that. So, I dropped a lot of tickets off in my last fight. So, it's nice to have a bit of downtime. I'm enjoying it, just being at home with my family, to be honest.
So, you've had a bit of a week, haven't you, Nathan, this week, mate? How's it been getting signed, by Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions?
Yeah, it's great, mate. It is, like I've said to a few people, it's like a dream come true, because growing up, that's all I wanted to do. Like from say the age of 18 up until I retired at the age of 26 as an amateur, the whole idea was to win the national title. So you get signed by Frank Warren. I never achieved a national title like as an amateur, even though I did really well in the ABAs and stuff, got ranked in the top 10 in Great Britain and that. But it just never happened. But now I retired at 26. I'd concentrated on my teaching career, and my daughter was born then as well. And then I just turned pro at 28. Thought it was more of a, if I don't do it now, I think I might regret it like in later life. And yeah, I haven't looked back since, really. It's been amazing how it's grown.
So how do you actually become a pro then? Do you have to work your way up through amateur to become a pro boxer?
Well, technically, all you do is you get the experience as an amateur. And then if you get enough experience, then you can get a license to be a professional. Now, the difference is if you're a good amateur, you're going to have a good career as a professional, potentially. But if you haven't put the groundwork in as an amateur, you're most likely going to get battered as a pro, so your career isn't going to last long anyway. So yeah, the board needs to clear you. They need to be happy that you've had enough fights in your time and you've got enough experience, and then you can turn professional. But the idea is, the more experience you've got, the better promoter you're going to get signed with. So, like I said, I couldn't get signed with Frank Warren or Eddie Earn at the time. But I was with a very good promotional company called BCB Promotions from Wednesbury. And Errol Johnson, my manager, who's still my manager now, has looked after me really well.
And what about with the amateur side? You see, like the Team GB route going to the Olympics or, the Commonwealth Games. How's that work? Is that something that you could have gone down?
That was always the dream of doing that. But it's so hard to get into that setup. Whether it's who you know. It's weird as an amateur, my face just never fitted. It's really weird. Right, I was a servant to the sport. Like, I had 90 fights. I boxed for 16 years and just never got any recognition to fight as an international, which I should have, because I beat, in my time, I must have beat about 15 internationals, like on the amateur scene, and beat some very good lads, and I should have been given that chance. But now with the lottery funding and stuff that you get from Sport England, even if you battered someone that's on the GB squad, you're never going to take the place, because they've already had like 30 grand's worth of funding for the last 2 years. So they can't just get rid of them, because they'll be like, well, why have you spent all that money? It's virtually impossible getting there unless your face fits.
So being an amateur before you turn professional, actually even now professionally, regarding income wise, is it all based really on sponsorship and then ticket sales? How's it work?
Yeah, as a pro, like really, I think when you start off, any promoter is going to look for you to get ideally 80 tickets sold. If you can sell 80 tickets, it keeps everyone happy. you'll make a little bit of money, not much, but it keeps you on the shows and it keeps you fighting. So, yeah, but whereas on the flip side, when you got someone, if you sign by Frank Warren straight away, you haven't really got to worry about ticket sales and stuff and Eddie, because they just want you there on your boxing merits, essentially. Yeah. So if you sell 10 tickets, well, they aren't really too bothered because they're gonna put you on the path to win the titles anyway. But for us guys that have to do it from like the grassroots, the hard way, you have to sell your tickets. You have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and you probably can't get big sponsors because you haven't come from a big, massive Olympic background or something. So it is hard. It is hard.
So let's go back to your fight then against Schembri. I've watched it back, and the atmosphere, which we'll come to in a bit, was absolutely electric with all the Stokies and the Kings all. I watched the first round, and how hard is it? Obviously, you go in there with a game plan because you're in there for a number of rounds. But how hard is it with the adrenaline pumping through your body and almost like wanting to put a show on and forgetting almost your game plan because you just want to go and knock them out for all the Stokies?
Yeah. I'm one of my strengths, I think, as a fighter, anyway, as a pro, is I am pretty calm when I'm in there, even when I'm hurting them. Yeah. Like when I'm boxing on the BT Sports show and I was hurting lad, I dropped the lad in the first round, and Barry Jones commented saying, "I like how he's not rushing his work, he's not panicking." And most people try to go straight for the kill, but then they get caught. But I think, I can stay on top of the game plan. I mean, one of my fights against a lad called Sergeant Bomo, a very tough lad from Cameroon. He boxed in the Olympics, 2012 Olympics.
Okay.
The game plan with him was hit him with a couple of shots and just don't get hit and just move out of the way. Now, for me, I did feel like in round 6 or 7, the crowd was getting a little bit quiet. And I was thinking, I don't want people to get bored here. But there's a game plan to stick to, and I had to do it. So I didn't get involved, because if I'd got involved, he would have tagged me, but he put me on my ass if he caught me, because he's very strong. But then the crowd built up anyway. It's just one of them. Like, the crowd's amazing regardless, and they'll roar if I'm putting the right work in. So I always stay on top of my game plan.
So how much? Obviously, we'll talk about football in a bit, about Stoke City, and regarding research. So obviously, Stoke will have their analysts who research the next teams they're playing. In boxing, I take it you have to do that sort of research on your next opponent then on the way they box.
Yeah, me coach will have a look at them. I'll look at them as well, but I never really look at like what they're doing in terms of technique wise. I look at what the characteristics are. So, are they aggressive? Do they seem to put a high wear rate in? Do they seem to wilt when they get hit with hard shots? Because they can change the style every fight. So I don't really bother about the style. I want to look at the characteristics of them. So, like say, if it's some relentless guy that I know is going to give it me all night, I'll need to be prepared for that. Or are they awkward? Like, you need to appreciate how awkward a fighter is. Some fighters you think, I could batter him, but you're not appreciating how awkward they are. And then when you get in there, it's an eye-opener because you're thinking, I wasn't expecting this. So I just look for characteristics more than anything. And my coach, Steve Woodvine at All Boxing, he'll be looking at like the things like the techniques and stuff, and he'll come up with the game plan, really.
Well, you look at some of their greatest boxers ever. Let's take Floyd Mayweather. A lot of his fights were almost boring because he's a jabber. He became so successful because of his jab. Yeah, just no one can touch on that. He is the best. So, but people don't appreciate that kind of stuff. But more so, they're saying that because they want to see him get beat as well. So they know but he can mix it up with the best of them anyway. But it's one of them. People want to see a bit of blood, but with Mayweather, they want to see him lose more than anything. That's why they all tune in. But that's why he plays the villain so well as well. He's great at what he does. Regarding the fight against Schembri, so obviously your video has gone viral of Delilah, so something like over 2 million hits, and you tagged anyone who was everyone after the video went viral. Was it Frank Warren who you really hoped would be the one that would respond?
Yeah, massively. Like what you wanted is you wanted like your Eddie Earns and your Frank Warrens and the Sutherland brothers and that, all being aware of you, so they can sort of all. If you're a wanted man, you can discuss things a lot more in terms of what contracts you want and so on. But for me, Frank Warren was the one, because when I look at the rosters of both teams, like Matchroom and BT Sports, they both got great fighters. where I feel like I can fit in better with BT Sports and Frank Warren and really make something on that side. And I think there's a massive gap there as well. Like, obviously, Josh Warrington's moved over from Frank Warrington Matchroom, and he was their big stadium seller. So I hope they think I can be the next Josh Warrington if I put the performances in anyway.
What's Frank Warren said to you as he rang you this week?
Yeah, he did actually. I had a random phone call on WhatsApp, and I was like, "Who's this?" Answered the phone, and then just very surreal. I went straight upstairs, so my little girl didn't really make any noise, and he just welcomed me to the team, and he said it's great to have me on board, and I just said, listen, if we get the right location, like Manchester or Liverpool or something, I said I reckon I'll take 600 to 1,000 Stokies with me, and he said, oh, that's fantastic. He said, listen, just do what you're doing. We'll look after you and we'll get you that world title. And I was like, bloody hell, a British title will do me. But like the fact that he's even said about a world title, I thought they must see something in me. Do you know what I mean? So we just got to see what happens.
Yeah, because I take it it's, we were talking before we came on air about return on investment for ticket sales, but it's not all that. It's obviously you would have been scouted again, a bit like football. You'd have been scouted. People out there from his promotion team would have been watching you. Yeah,
definitely, mate. And especially when I boxed on their show in November last year. They would have seen my supporters. We took the place over completely.
So that was a Huey Fury undercard, was it?
No. That was my third fight. That was.
Oh, okay.
This was my eighth. It was my eighth. No, my ninth fight. This was. So November last year, I boxed on BT Sports, and I was afloat. So basically, that just meant you went on any time that it needed you. And luckily for me, I boxed at like 8:45, I think it was. So I got a prime time little spot. Like, there was world champions on there, there was British champions on there, but my crowd were by far the biggest and loudest. It was, and after that, when I thought I'm going to get signed here, I must have. But then it went a bit quiet, and I was like, oh no. But then 2 weeks into the lockdown, or a week into the lockdown, I just got an email with a contract, and bloody hell, I didn't expect that. So it was great. It was great.
Let's go back to the night then, just before the lockdown, when you fought Schembri and you're in the tunnel waiting to come out, and then you can hear Delilah kicks in. How does that make you feel? Does that really pump you up, or does it give you nerves?
Well, it's because normally I always have We'll Be With You play first. Get everyone going. Get We'll Be With You first, and then all I'm thinking. Well, I had a cameraman with me, one of Frank Warren's media guys, right. Chris Roberts. He was there with me, and you see the video of me. I just turn to him and I go, oh, you know, like, because, and then I just pace up and down in the walkway because I'm thinking, oh shit, this is it now, this is it. But like, so you're a bit nervous, and then, but then as soon as like the din it kicks in, the game over. Then it's like you can walk through a brick wall when you walk out to there. Like, I mean, so it is good. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And did you expect it to go so viral? Because it was on Stoke Loud and Proud, wasn't it? It was on their Facebook that they posted it.
Yeah, it was the ones that went viral on was Stoke Loud and Proud posted it, Boxing King Media posted it, and some guy called the Boxing Whip, I think his name's Phil. He shared it, just a normal video from the night, and it had like 800,000 views on Twitter just from his one. Bloody Boxing King Media, they had about 500,000 views, probably about 600,000 now. My one had 100,000 views. But Stoke Loud and Proud had a few 100,000. He said so.
That's incredible.
But I did know. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I did know it was going to go like that because that's why I paid for Chris Roberts to be there to record the footage for me because I just knew it was sold out. The show was sold out, and I knew there's never been an atmosphere like that in Stoke ever. And in regards to the UK, I used to say it's the biggest atmosphere in Stoke. But that's one of the biggest atmospheres in the UK, like by far. And I just knew it'd do well, just because it's so cool. Like, I know it's me, and I'm not being narcissistic there. Yeah. It's just, it is bloody cool. Like, people, and that's what people are saying, like, oh, goosebumps and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
And looking back on the fight, because it went to points. How do you think your performance was? Because he was a tough opponent. Yeah,
very tough. He didn't wilt at all. Like I thought, because first round I was laying the shots on him as well.
Yeah,
I let him know any chance he was going to have. We got because he's very confident. He was very confident. He was smiling at me and stuff. But I needed to go in there first round and let him know that whatever thoughts he had of winning weren't going to happen after that first round. But he took it really well, took the body shots well, took these shots. I cut him badly in the 5th or 6th, I think the 5th round. And he just kept going, very, very persistent. A champion, essentially. Like, he had the mentality of a champion. He wasn't going to get stopped in front of ball my lot. And there was a couple of times I thought I was going to get him, but he's just very young on very well, and he was just very fit as well.
How does that make you feel though when you're landing some absolutely crushing punches, and it's almost like coming across like you're not hurting him? Does that piss you off? Does it?
Yeah, you're hurting him, but or you start thinking, it's fucking hell, my hands are hurting. Excuse me. I shouldn't swear, I don't normally swear, but my hands are feeling like. So it's but yeah, so that's the biggest issue with that one. But no, you're hurting them, even if they're being poker faced, which he was. Yeah, I know they're hurting. Like, so you just have to carry on, because that's where the mental side of it can come in, where you start thinking, I'm not hurting them, but you've always got to have in the back of your mind, you are definitely hurting them. Yeah. It's just they're playing a very good poker face, and that's what you need to do essentially all the way through it.
And when it goes, up to like the 9th, 10th, 11th round, you always see in all the fights, there's a lot of build up in fights where the fighters are down each other's fucking throats and they're giving each other shit to their press conferences. Yeah. But there's so much respect there when you're going right down to the wire, isn't there?
Oh yeah, there's nothing like. I like to gloves at the end, at the start of the 10th round or the last round. Yeah. Then when you see him at the end, there's a lot of respect there, because you've done your best to knock the guy out. Do you know what I mean? But you do have a lot of respect for him. I mean, it wasn't great for him, because obviously he knew he would have lost by the last round unless he knocked me out. But for me, there's a lot of respect there. There's a lot.
You talk about when the points are getting tallied up each round. Do you get a feeling I'm on top here?
The score. Like in my Midland style fight against Tom Stokes, that one was a close fight. Up until round 4, it was, in my mind, I was like, it's 2 rounds apiece, and then we started it back and forth a bit. But then I took over the fight towards the 6th round onwards. So I thought in my mind I was 2 rounds up, and that's exactly what the scorecard was on the referees. It was like 96, 94, something like that.
So Nathan, where did the nickname The Hitman come from?
So yeah, basically, like I've said before, like some person online said something about why is he calling himself the Hitman? He's only got 3 knockouts out of 10, but it's just the alliteration of it, mate. It just Hitman Heaney. It just goes well together. And Ricky the Hitman Hatton was one of my idols growing up. So yeah, it works well.
Have you ever been starstruck by a boxer that you've met?
Yes, yeah, sure I have. Yeah, well, at one of my last, no, it wasn't in my last fight. It was watching one of my mates, Cole Johnson, fight at Walsall Town Hall. Ricky Hatton was actually there then, right. But I didn't dare go over to him. I just felt like I didn't want to interrupt him, like, I mean. So it was, but yeah, like Frankie Gavin years ago was like one of my idols as an amateur. Like, and I met him once. Well, in fact, I sparred with him, and he was a top lad. So yeah, it was. Yeah, I would get, if I saw certain fighters, I would get starstruck. Yeah.
Is anybody reached out to you this week after all the promotion and that you made the news about getting signed by Warren?
What in terms of fighters?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think about it. I haven't seen that. Anything like that. No. Yeah. I've had Vinnie Jones me announcements. So Vinnie Jones so that's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, Vinnie Jones Bradley Skeet and some other good fighters have liked it. So it's been good. It's been good.
That's brilliant, Nathan. Obviously, with the current circumstances of the lockdown, how do you think this is going to unfold with boxing over the next few months? Is it going to resume with behind closed doors boxing? What are your thoughts on it?
The only ones that can do behind closed doors are going to be Warren, Matchroom, and whoever else has got a TV deal. Because the other promotional companies, unless they got massive money behind them, I can't see them being able to do it. So luckily for us guys, if they do behind closed doors, that's what it's going to be. That's what they'll do. But again, the whole thing behind me is I've got one of the biggest cards in the UK, so I wouldn't want to fight behind closed doors without me support there, just because you would definitely lose your advantage that you have, because it does play a massive thing. When you're tired and the crowd goes mental, it pushes you on a little bit. So yeah, I haven't got a clue what's going to happen, mate, but I'm hoping by October time we'll be back to normal, hopefully. Who knows?
How do you feel now? You've probably not had a chance to catch breath this week, but I saw one of your interviews that you've done. Only a few years ago, you were selling 5 tickets. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
and then you went to the King's Hall, and then obviously the last fight, it was a sellout. And who knows what the future holds? Hopefully, you know, the Bet365 Stadium. Have you had a chance to pinch yourself and gone, shit?
It's surreal. Anyway, it's weird, but like, yeah, as an amateur, I had 5 people go with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, like I say, I never had a massive social circle of friends. I had a close knit bunch of mates and stuff, and I never took in my fights. Just never did. So it was always interesting to see how that would go over to the pros. And on my debut, I had 60 people there, which was okay. It wasn't a great number because usually you want to be looking for at least 80. Now, usually what happens with a pro fighter is everyone wants to go to the debut because it's the debut. So they sell loads of tickets. Then every fight it goes down and down and down and down until eventually they probably just quit the sport because they're not going to get the opportunities because they don't put the bums on the seats. But luckily for me, it just steadily went up. And like you mentioned earlier about the Channel 5 Huey Fury undercard, that was my 3rd one, that was. And they shared when I finished at the fight and I walked out the ring and all my lot was singing Delilah. There's like 80 people that went up then. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just spread a little bit around the football community. And then they added me to like the church page and stuff, like, which is like a Stoke page. And then a few lads came and then a few more the next time. And then all of a sudden it just went boom and just skyrocketed. Yeah. And then my last fight, I sold 775 tickets. And bear in mind, I had a waiting list of about 200 people. I couldn't sell any more tickets because there were none left. So it was, and there was 1,300 in the King's Hall that night. And they were all there to watch me. Like, they were there to watch the other boys because they bought tickets off them. But they were also there to make sure they watched me fight as well. Because normally what used to happen is I'd box or someone would box and then all their supporters would leave. So there'd be a big empty spaces in the hall because they didn't want to watch me. Like, so I mean, but that night, not a single person left. So it was just rammed. It was amazing.
Would you ever, obviously, you had your billboard in Fenton. I've seen your story on it, which is great. You couldn't believe that you had a billboard up.
It's mental. It's mental.
You know, do you think you'll ever have a billboard up in Vegas outside the MGM?
It's weird, isn't it? Like, we just got to win, man. We just got to keep winning, like, because when you're with a promoter like Frank Warren, you don't know where the limit is. You know what I mean? Because they've got the firepower there to do that. Who bloody knows? You've got to be on that world stage first, though. I need to win the British title. Win the British title. And if you win the British title, especially at middleweight, because it's so tough, you can win a world title if the right opponents are there.
Well, obviously, so the current holder of that belt, because you're in a hell of a division, because you've got obviously the likes of Eubank Jr., Liam Smith, and then Liam Williams, who holds the current British title. I saw his fights. Well, he's had 2 fights, hasn't he, against Liam Smith? Yeah. He's a hell of a fighter. Do you think he'll have kicked on and moved on by then? Because obviously,
by the time I get the British title, he will have most likely vacated because he'll be on to world. He was a world level operator. He is. He's amazing. So yeah, he'll have moved on by that point.
Yeah, because I don't know if you would have seen the fight. That was a tough one at the end. I think it was the first fight when he went down to, well, they had to basically throw the towel in because it headbutted and he cut his
it was but he's technically beating. He's getting the better potentially Smith, but Smith's a great fighter as well. They're just tough as strong as anything them boys are.
Do you ever get afraid of getting hurt?
Nah. If you did that, you wouldn't get in there, would you? Like, because you can get hit. It's just you have to trust yourself that you can avoid the shots. Defensively, I'm pretty good. I've got good reflexes on me, so yeah, I've never really got hurt in my boxing life. So yeah, that doesn't really enter my mind.
We'll move on to Stoke City now, but actually, this question: what player that Stoke currently got or had in the past would you not want to get into the ring with?
Yeah, someone's asked that question as well. Now I say Ricardo Fuller because he was a tank when I used to work in a nightclub. And after the games, he'd always go up there. He would, and he was an absolute tank, like a proper athlete. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like Robert Huth or some lads, just an absolute beast. But yeah, there'd be a few hard lads in that squad. That's what we used to do. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you look at that era though. You got like Abdullah Fai. You wouldn't really want to get into a ring with Abdullah Fai, would you?
Yeah, massive. Yeah, no, not at all, mate. Not at all.
Or Dean Whitehead as well. I bet he could put.
Yeah. Tough lad.
So, how did you come to be a Stoke fan? Were you born and bred Stoke City fan?
Yeah, it's more me dad, unfortunately, my dad wasn't a massive football fan, but my auntie, my uncle Bill and Sue were the biggest Stoke fans you could have ever got. Like, so from the very young lad, I was brought up as a Stoke lad. From them, and my cousin Tim and stuff, and yeah. So I mean, auntie Sue, I think she's worked with Stoke City for like the last 20 years or something like that. So she's never. I don't think she's missed many games in her whole bloody life, but yeah. So from a young age, and like my first ever game that I can remember was the Wembley one that we went to for the auto glass 1-2-1. But I think there was a game that I can remember before that, because I'm sure when we went to, I can't believe how long ago the Britannia Stadium was made. No. Like it feels like it was like 2 seconds ago, but it was like,
I think it was 97.
Was it really that?
It was, yeah. Yeah, I think it was.
Because we played, I also remember playing Scunthorpe at home, and we scored in like the last minute, because I remember being a very young kid, thinking, why is everyone leaving? And then we scored last minute and won 1-0. I was like, I was buzzing. Like, so, but I think that was before the Wembley game. I'm sure it was. So, like, either or, one of them are my first memories.
And, that was a good team with Peter Thorne and Graham Kavanagh.
Yeah, Kavanagh and Clark. Clive Clark's all my fights as well. Like, he supports one of the other lads, Luke Katz. Yeah, so Clive Clark's always... Is always ringside on the table. It's funny because I always joke with him, because years ago I used to collect my Stoke City sticker books.
Yeah.
And all I'd want was Graham Kavanagh. Like I'd buy all the packs and I wanted Graham Kavanagh, but all I'd get was about 10 Clive Clarks. I had like 10 Clive Clark stickers. Like, what? Not another Clive Clark. Bloody hell! I had a little joke with him because I had like bloody loads of them. So, but it's cool. It's just weird. It's surreal. Like, and like it's just weird on Twitter when, like, the other day, I spoke to Graham Kavanagh on there. That was weird. And, like, Rory Delap shared me walkout video and said, well done on the signing and stuff. I was like, I just said to him, thank you, mate. It'd be great. I said, it'd be great if you can make one of my fights. And he said, absolutely. Yeah, so it's weird. It's weird, like saying, like, it's just weird how quick time's gone as well. Because I'm thinking, like, because I was thinking then, like, was it 2011 that we were in the FA Cup final?
God, was it? Yeah, it could well
was it 2011? It's just, I
think it was, yeah.
Because I just can't believe that's like 9 years ago. 9 years ago. It's crazy. So it's, but they were for me, they were the best years. Like 2011 to 2013 were the best years for me for the club, anyway.
Oh, Nathan, definitely. I say we'll come on to our time in the Premiership in a bit. Let's look at this season. Obviously, this season got halted, rightly so, when we just demolished Hull City 5-1. Michael O'Neill, how do you think he's faring as a manager?
I think he's done class. He's the team's definitely settled down. I think it's a shame that it's a shame that he had such a bad start to lead off in terms of what happened with Jones and stuff. I do feel for Jones because I wanted him to do really well. I thought his heart was there, but for whatever reason, I actually did see an ex-Stoke player, and they said when he was still in the job that he's lost the dressing room. He said that I saw him in a pub, and he said this is like a proper Stoke player as well. Like, and I won't say who it is, but it's just weird. It's just weird for him to say that. Like, but yeah. So after that, when he said that, I thought, right, he's definitely going to be gone then. But like, and then I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks later, he actually did go. But there was just results here and there that just kept him in it. Yeah. Like, kept him there. But any longer, and well, we're only 3 points clear now. Yeah. So we would have gone. We would have definitely gone.
Yeah. Well, let's talk Nathan Jones. I was saying on the show recorded the other night, this season he collected 8 points from the first 14 matches. His reign ended with a 15% win ratio, 6 victories in 38 matches, the third worst ever permanent manager behind Chris Kamara and Paul Lambert. Yet, a lot of Stoke fans almost remember him fondly. He didn't go out with that abuse off. And you know what Stoke fans can be like. Why do you think that is? Why do you think there was no hatred towards him?
Because what could you really expect from? Was it League One that he was in?
Yeah, Luton Town, wasn't it?
Yeah. So like, it's not like he came in. I thought it was quite exciting. I thought he'd taken a punt and he could do really well. Yeah, I thought it was going to be dead exciting. I thought it was going to be some great football being played. From what I read from like Luton Town and stuff. But then I remember when they did a training session at the ground at the start of the season. Well, a little bit into the season, I went down there and I was expecting to see something really good, but it wasn't. It was just really poor standard training. I thought I was going to be seeing some drills. They're doing this, they're doing that. They were doing some shooting drills. And it's no wonder we were losing so many because they couldn't even score on target in training. It was mad. Like, and it was just, I just didn't see what I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to see something really cool. I thought I was going to see something like some of a Spanish influence. You know what I mean? Like that bit of tick-attack of football and this and that, but it wasn't like so. But O'Neill, at the end of the day, he's come from a really established background with Northern Ireland and that, and you can see the results we've got. But all I've said to other people is we've done really good, and we're in the form table. We're like the top 6, I think. Like in terms of how well we played from like January, but obviously every other team's done that at the bottom as well because we're only 3 points clear. So we might be the top 6 in form, but the others are very close to us because we're still only 3 points clear. So it's I hope we do just stop the season now though because we're notoriously slow starters, and I'd hate to think that we go down now just because the momentum's gone.
Yeah, well, it'd be disastrous if we went down. We talk about O'Neill. He's got a 43% win ratio. He inherited the same team that Nathan Jones had. Why do you think he's got them winning?
I haven't got a clue. Maybe he's just setting them up better, putting them in the better positions. I mean, we're still lacking players. Like I say, going back to like 2011, 2013, like your Matty Evinsons, your bloody even Pennants. You know what I mean? Like. They were just class wingers. Yeah. Like there was, I mean, bless him. I've never slated James McLean because I always think he puts a right shift in. He always works hard, but he just lacks that little bit of the final finish. He scored some good goals for us and stuff, and he has played a very important part. But I think it's just that last little bit, like that quality ball into the box. I mean, for me, like last season, he said it all when the best football I'd seen all season was when Charlie Adams had come on against Leeds and we won 1-0 and he was just pinging 50-yard balls. And I thought, that was just pure class. He's Charlie Adams, he's old. Well, I don't think he's even that old, he just looks older than he is, but he was him. But like, he isn't the most in-shape player, you wouldn't think, but he was just quality. And I think that's just all we've really lacked a little bit.
Well, obviously, because obviously most of the squad that we still got goes back to the Gary Rowett, the short era with him. And I think he spent something like £60 million to build that squad up when we dropped to the Championship. What were your thoughts on Gary Rowett? Because when he left, I think we were 8th or 9th in the Championship. We were not far off. What were your thoughts?
I don't really know because the season itself it's almost like I can't remember it. Like there's just no. The only thing I can remember from that season was, funny enough, is Derby. Like, and we beat him 2-1, and like it was like what it used to be at Stoke. It was packed. Like the atmosphere was incredible, and then Paul Ince actually did something decent and scored, and the place went mad. And that's the only thing I can remember from that season. Like it's almost like I just wanted to forget it. Like, you know what I mean? So, the only thing I can remember really was the football just seemed really bland. There was a lot of passing back to the keeper, short cross to knock it back, and it was just playing, just very, very slow paced and very boring. But this is where, again, some supporters have got very short term memories because obviously with Shawcross being injured, everyone's like, "Oh, I can't wait for him to get back in," which I couldn't see. I can't wait for him to get back in. I couldn't wait for him to get back in. He's quality player, but people were saying Shawcross was terrible. Like he's no longer the player he was. Like the short-term memory is unreal. Yeah. Like, but it was the football was very slow and very just it was boring, to be honest.
It was laborious, wasn't it? But with the squad he had, and then he came out and I think he said something about Bojan and then about the fans and
of course that was the nail in the coffin for him. And just like I think he from what I remember rightly, he was just saying we've got too much of an affinity towards Bojan. So I mean, like, but he was a quality player, wasn't he? So maybe should he just like? I still remember years ago having FIFA. I can't remember what FIFA it was, like FIFA '09 or something, and Bojan was like the first team player in the Barcelona squad. I just think that can't be the same Bojan that we've got, but it was. He was just mad.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go back through the Premier League years that you touched on before, and it seems A, such an eternity ago. B, it was a brilliant 10 years we had. What games stick out to you, Nathan? Is like, wow, that was unbelievable.
For me personally, one of the best home games I've been to was when we beat Chelsea 3-2, and Asayidi scored like the last minute screamer.
What a goal that was!
That's just incredible. That's exactly what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? And the limbs that were going in that place was mental. But obviously, the last game when we beat them 6-1, Liverpool. Yeah. Obviously, you're up that way, so
I was happy, mate.
Obviously, when we beat Bolton 5-0 in the FA Cup, I couldn't make that because my boss, Book, I'm going to call him out. Book wouldn't let me have the time off for that or the final. The bloody scumbags, I'll call them out. Wouldn't let me have the time off. Bloody buggers. But thank God I'm not working there anymore anyway. So, yeah, they're the ones that stick out for me.
Well, I tell you what, let's keep with that Bolton game. So that was under obviously Tony Pulis, and I watched it the other day on YouTube. The whole game, it was being streamed on the Stoke City YouTube, and with Pulis, everyone was saying, "Oh, it's horrible, it's boring, it's up and under." But that day at Wembley, and there was a few other games, we played some expansive attacking football. What were your views on Tony Pulis as our manager?
He was amazing for what he did for us. Like, in terms of getting up in the first place and being so well established with it. We were a nightmare for teams. Like, I was looking back the other day when Rory Delilah was absolutely terrorising Arsenal with the long throws. We really, and it was crazy how we totally gatecrashed the Premier League, and we were a side that took some points off some very good teams throughout the years. But in the end, the football was bad in the end. Like, there's nothing worse coming out of the game. It's like, we haven't even had a bloody shot on target, do you know what I mean? Or even attempts sometimes. And then we just sneak like a last minute goal, which is good to get us the points. But then when you have Mark Hughes then and Altovic and all that kind of stuff that the players come in, it was some of the best football we've ever played.
Oh, yes.
And then obviously, but then once you started losing like your Whelans and stuff, which were like your backbone of the team essentially, it just did. Like they say, the DNA. It sort went, and then it's been downhill since, really. And now we're just building back up, aren't we? So
yeah. Well, in those years when we had Bojan, Arnautovic, Shaqiri, and Zonzi in the middle, which one of them would you say was our biggest loss?
Probably Zonzi. Yeah, I think he was an absolutely outstanding player. Just he could control the midfield superbly well. I mean, I remember seeing an Arnautovic for the first time, and I thought he was an amazing player. In fact, I remember when we played Southampton and Begovic scored first ever game. I took my missus who that was.
Yeah.
So she thought that was like the norm. She was asking why the other keeper wasn't shooting. I do, but like
it doesn't work like that.
I just remember seeing Arnie play then. He was just great, just like pure quality. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then obviously like Shaqiri and stuff. It's was it Everton that he scored that goal against as well?
It was, yeah. I think we won 5-3. I think it was up here.
Yeah. It's just great, mate. It's just great.
I'll tell you what. We'll keep with the Mark Hughes era. I was saying it on a show the other night. It was everyone seems to pinpoint back to the League Cup semi-final, and we won at Anfield 1-0, but we lost on penalties. And that was Joe Allen who scored the winning penalty for Liverpool at the time. Yeah. Why do you think after that it went so badly wrong?
I haven't got a clue. Like, I think more recently people have been saying about there's like stuff going on in the changing rooms and stuff, and obviously you had Glenn Johnson come out like on Talk Sport saying about there was certain personalities in there that weren't pulling the weight, and obviously thinking of superstars and that. And then I don't know, probably just the team dynamics probably just went out the window. Yeah. I honestly don't know. But he just went. And it did go. It was obvious to see as well what was happening, but just nothing was changed quick enough.
Should we have kept Hughes to the end of that season? Would he have got us relegated? Because obviously we pulled the trigger quite late and got Paul Lambert in.
Yeah, we were probably going to go down anyway. Yeah. Like, and Paul Lambert didn't have. I feel for him as well because he had a very tough task. But if you're going to go that late with someone, I don't know. Luckily, we didn't do the same mistake with Jones this time, and we got him out just in time. But you don't know. We can all surmise that if Hughes had been there, maybe he would have kept us up. And would it have been better than getting someone new in like Lambert? I don't know. But
have you met the coach's family, Nathan?
I have. I was a guest of honour at Stoke this season.
Yeah.
Against Luton Town, in fact. It's home. And nice, very nice people.
Yeah, and again, I think they, so not criticism because they're phenomenal what Peter and John Coates do. But, it's always in the press that they're too loyal sometimes. And looking back now, I think with the Hughes, it's just my opinion, the Hughes sacking came too late, basically.
It did come too late. It was glaringly obvious going on what was going to happen. You could see what was going to happen. But it's one of them, and it's because that's the one thing I do hate about football is the constant sackings of managers.
Yeah,
I can't stand it, to be honest. And it says it all when you look at Ranieri with Leicester. Do you know what I mean? That's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in life. Yes, he won in the Premier League that he should never have won. He should never have won that. But and then the next season he gets sacked. Imagine the odds. Imagine you had the odds on 1 to Leicester to win it, and then 2 for Ranieri as an accumulator for him to get sacked the next season. Yeah. You probably be a millionaire if you put $1,000 on. So I mean, it's mad. It's mad the odds, but they'll get stick and stuff. But they have put money into the club previously. Do you know what I mean? They put a lot of money into the club, a lot, and sometimes you can't really see how some players are going to do. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And going back to Tony Pulis, you mentioned before, some fans do have a short-term memory, and obviously, we had this void after Nathan Jones was sacked about do we get Pulis back in, and many Stoke fans were like, no.
Yeah, well, my boxing coach was a massive Stoke fan. He's never missed any games since he's probably like a young kid, and he was like, no, do not get Pulis back in. Just don't do it. But it is the short-term memory. But he did set us up. But he also had the players. So, I mean, for me, one of my favourite players of all time is Ricardo Fuller, because he played such an important part for us. He was so good, so good. And players you can only hope that someone like Tyrese Campbell can turn into him, because he was just amazing. What he could do.
What are your thoughts on Tyrese Campbell?
I think he's good. I think he's very good. He certainly is a finisher. He looks strong, and he's only young, and so let's just see what happens. But at least we got him in a contract now, haven't we?
Well, so, I was about to say, do you think that was a lot to do with the new manager, with Michael O'Neill?
Yeah, massively. Well, that's what was said from his dad and stuff. So yeah, just got see how it plays out for him.
So just finally, switching back to Mark Hughes. Looking back at his era, would you have him down as being a huge success for Stoke or a failure?
It's got to be a success because we played it's just my opinion. I think it's some of the best football we've ever seen at Stoke. It's just, but the players that they had, say the Shaqiri, Janeltovic's, Nzonzi, just when you put some good players like that together and you get chemistry, it's incredible. But you can't say it's a failure, because can you expect to stay in the Premier League forever? I don't know. I haven't got a clue, but something should have been changed when the warning signs were there, but it was just done too late.
And you mentioned Shawcross before. Even though it's a big word, the word legend to use, as and when he does leave or hang up his boots, would you have him down as one of our greatest defenders of our era? Yeah,
because look how long he's been playing for us now and doing it at the top level as well. Obviously now we're in the Championship, which isn't great, but he is a Stoke City legend. He's done a lot. He's put his career on the line for us he puts 100% into everything, and that's basically. We used to be one of the toughest sides going. Do you know what I mean? You didn't want to go. Like they used to say, the cold Tuesday night in Stoke. There's a reason for it because it was bloody tough, and there's a reason for it because people like him and your bloody Johnny Walters and stuff. It's just they were proper players. So I mean, like hard as nails, and just put a massive shift in for Stoke. So he is a legend. Short-term memories on people, like they look at you as good as your last performance, essentially, which is like a lot of boxing, to be honest. People judge on your last performance, but yeah, he is a legend, mate.
It must be surreal for you then, mate, about, you've got these heroes like your Roy Delaps, your Kavanaghs, even for myself, I'd be like, oh shit, it's Roy Delap. Yeah. And now they're reaching out to you.
Well, yeah. Like say Roy Delap shared me thingy. I was going to reply to him and say, listen, give me some arm power tips. Because you got the power in them arms, didn't he? But I thought that'd be too cringy of a reply, be too much of a fanboy, that one. So I thought I'd be a bit easier, a bit cooler. Right, yep. So yeah, but it is weird. It's mint. It's great. It is great because they're my childhood heroes essentially, and you grew up watching them, and then you're having little conversations with them. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, they'd have conversations with people like us anyway, like on an everyday basis on Twitter. So maybe I'm just thinking because I'm sounding boring, they're more likely to speak to me, but they'll speak to anyone anyway, mate.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And how's the reaction been this week of your family and your friends? It must be such a hard time because obviously you can't go see your mates and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's my phone's been mad. Like I've had loads of messages. I've been having set days that I'm going to catch up. One, I'm going to do Twitter. Tomorrow, I'm going to do WhatsApp. Today, I've done Facebook, and I've had to apologise here. Listen, guys, I'm apologising for not, because I like to be very personal online. If someone sends me a message, I'll send them a message back. But man, it's getting harder. It is getting harder because it's getting it's just growing each time. Like my social media's growing. Like it's. But I'll still always do my best. I'll always do my best to get back to people. So
what are your social media links if people want to connect to you?
Yeah, so Instagram is Hitman_Heaney. Twitter's just at Nathan Heaney, and then Facebook just put Nathan Hitman Heaney, and you'll see me page on there. Yeah. So yeah, they're the good ones to get on.
So if obviously your dream would be to fight the Beth 365 again. We were talking about Tony Bellew before, weren't we? About he got his childhood dream come true when he was at Goodison Park. How would you feel if Mr. Warren rang you up and said, "Look, I can't get the 365, but I can get you Vale Park"?
I'd say, listen, get me Matchroom. I'm moving. Nah. I wouldn't say that to him, but it wouldn't be happening. It wouldn't be happening. Like somebody, bless him, some guy once said to me on my way up. I think I must have had about 3 or 4 fights at this point. It was in Burslem that I did like a little talk with the guy, and he said, "What you want to do is you want to put a Vale top on and go on the Vale pitch." I was like, "Holy Stoke, lad! I'll be birds at the stake, lad. What are you doing?" Like, I mean, so it's I do. To be honest, I do feel for it because some of my supporters, they are Vale fans. And so when they go to the King's Hall, it's just like walking into the bloody booth, and then, do you know what I mean? It's like, and then they're giving it all the Vale, shoot the Vale scum and stuff. I do feel for them, but bless them, they support me because I'm from Stoke. So it's
again, let's say I watched you fight back against Schembri, and it is over all the rounds, constant Stoke singing. Never stops.
Yeah.
Do you hear that, or are you?
Oh, round 6. I was joining in. Yeah, round 6. I got Howard Foster told me off because I just said, what was I heard? Should I be Vale? Should I be Stoke? Is what she said to me, and I heard it build up in the place, so I just went, wash him off, I'm strong. Like, to Schembri, and just it was mince, but Howard Foster told me off, so I had to stop doing that.
I was about to say, what do you think Schembri was? What was saying? What did he say to you afterwards?
Oh, he just said he was a great fight. He thought the 5th round, if I'd have jumped on him a little bit more, I might have stopped him because he was really hurt. But I didn't see he was hurt, so we did very well to hide that. But yeah, it's amazing, mate. It's great. It's great.
Nathan, so obviously when this lockdown's over, we don't know when. What is your next fight, or who is it potentially going to be against? Do you know?
I haven't got a clue. I've not got a clue. There's loads. Now I'm ranked 13th in Great Britain. Now I was 14th, but they've done some moving around. So I'm 13th in Great Britain now, just 3 outside of the top 10. And there's some very good fighters up there. But who knows? I don't know what plan Mr. Warren's got for me, what they want to do. But if it's right, if it's right and it makes sense, I'll have it to whoever it is. So, I mean, I'll fight Chris Eubank Jr. if we get the best 365s. I mean, and I'd love that fight. Now that would be a good one. But it'd be weird because one of the people I look up to a lot is his dad, Chris Eubank Sr. I love everything about the guy. He's very eccentric, but he speaks a lot of sense. So that'd be cool. But we're just gonna see, mate. See what their plans are.
Yeah, and I tell you, his dad was more of my era, and he could take a punch.
Oh,
his jaw was steel, wasn't he?
Yeah, amazing puncher, granite chin, and a work ethic like none other. So yeah, amazing.
Mate, that's great, Nathan. Just finally, just over to yourself. I know you lost your dad just over a year ago. I think it was this week or last week, and he'd be so proud to see where you've come from, where you're now. And he was always saying, some of the interviews I've seen back, that you said that he was always saying to his mates, he'll sign for Frank Warren one day. He'll sign for Frank Warren. How do you think he would feel, and it will happen in the future, that you'll be fighting the 365 sold out?
It's annoying, really. It's very annoying because I remember saying to me, Dad, I've sold 100 tickets. Like, he'd be buzzing like, oh, that's bloody brilliant, because it was brilliant. 100 tickets is bloody brilliant. But then, imagine if I said to him, last time, Dad, I've sold 775 tickets. In fact, I've sold 180 ringside tickets, which is like £65 each. Wow. Like, and 180 people had paid for, so 18 tables had sold. Yeah. I struggled selling one table when I first started. Like, and it's just incredible. Like, I was just grown, but the atmosphere is incredible, and he would have loved it. And just, it's a shame that he's not here to see it, mate. It's a shame because pain in the ass. Because we would have argued over boxing like we always did. But it's only because he really loved me. Like, do you know what I mean? So, but no, I just got to keep cracking on, mate, and just doing what I need to do and see where we can go from there.
Nathan, mate, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure for coming on to Behind the Live. Really has, mate. Listen, you stay safe, look after yourself, and I'll be seeing you on BT Sport very soon.
Yeah, hopefully, mate, hopefully. So, thank you very much, mate, and take care.
Have a good evening, mate. See you now.
You too, mate. Bye,
bye. And that was another episode of Behind the Live podcast with myself, Adam Lambert. Please give me a follow on Instagram at Behind the Live podcast, Facebook, Behind the Live podcast, and if you're listening to this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button below as well as the like button. I'll be back soon for another episode. For now, take care.